Sawadika and good evening. Welcome to Thai PBS World Tonight. Today you are with Tulip Nak Sampop live from the studio in Bangkok and also with Nat Bunnak live from home. Sawadika.
สวัสดีค่ะคุณทิวลิป
Good evening. How are you?
I would say I'm feeling great today, and it's actually my first day doing the live from home session as well. So a bit of a readjust for me. But I'm quite liking it.
Okay. So today Yes, we
And
start off with the
today
update,
we
right?
gotta say it's another day that we're seeing triple digits of COVID-19, but it seems like the figure is quite better compared to a couple of days ago because today the CCSA announced that there are 249 new COVID-19 cases today. But one interesting point here is that there's an increase in middle-aged women who are getting infected from the virus. Today, according to the CCSA, Thailand has recorded 249 new COVID-19 cases, raising the total to 10,547 since early last year, including 6,090 cases since December 15th, when the first infection of the second wave was recorded in Samut Sakhon province. With the continued rise in infections, the CCSA spokesman, Dr. Tawisin Wisnuyotin, said today that the situation remains a matter of serious concern, making it necessary to continue proactive screening and for the public not to lower its guard. Of the 6,090 new cases in the last 3 weeks, Samut Sakhon province recorded 3,341 cases, with Chonburi and Rayong each recorded over 500 cases, while Bangkok, Chantaburi, Nonthaburi, Nakhon Pathom, and Ang Thong have fewer than 500 each. Of the 249 new cases today, Dr. Tawisin noted that 37 of them are from Samut Sakhon, with half of them are women over 40 years old and a 9-month-old baby girl, adding that more middle-aged women are being infected with the virus. Of today's new infections, 224 are locally acquired cases, 48 were found during proactive screening, and the rest are arrivals from abroad in state quarantine. Dr. Tawisin then praised the unity of the Thai people in the fight to overcome the COVID-19 crisis, pointing out that more than 6.4 million Thais have downloaded the Moshana tracing application. He also warned against gatherings for the purpose of abusing drugs, noting that this illegal practice risks spreading the disease very rapidly. In the Facebook post by the Chonburi Provincial Health Office today, it is reported that total COVID-19 infections in this eastern coastal province to date are 587, including a cluster of 52 cases related to a beer garden in the Sriracha district. Of those cluster infections, 18 of the beer garden's 31 staff members are infected, and test results are still pending for 7 others. 1 musician and 21 customers have also tested positive for the virus. The health office said, however, that there were 3 bands playing at the beer garden. All 50 musicians have been traced, with 1 being found to be infected and 4 others cleared. Test results are still pending for 5 others, and the remaining 4 are about to be tested. So that's the latest for the COVID-19 situation and the numbers that were announced today.
And talking about the beer garden in Chonburi province, it's becoming another news because the latest report is that 2 of the crew members of Thai craft carrier tested positive for COVID-19 after visited beer garden in Chonburi province. About 500 officers on that aircraft carrier will have to get tested as well. And right now, this boat is a Green Arabate aircraft carrier to be all crew, 500 officers will be tested after 2 were found infected and 10 others who are close with them were quarantined. It was reported that 2 infected sailors recently visited a beer garden in Sattahip district. Vice Admiral Chetha Jaipiem, spokesperson for the Royal Thai Army, said today that he is waiting for a confirmation from the captain of Jakri Narubet about the reported infections, adding that if the report is verified, all those on board the vessel will be quarantined and tested. So we are talking about 500 people. It will be very interesting. I assume that probably going to be quarantine on the boat will be the simplest proceeding because they're already on the boat. But yeah, 500 is a lot.
Definitely, and 500 is definitely a lot, so we'll have to see what is going to happen, especially with the test results here. And speaking of the recent outbreak of COVID-19, and it has really affected the Thai produce, and so far, China has announced that they will be delaying the imports of all Thai produce from red zone provinces, which is something that is very recent. China's custom authorities are imposing more stringent COVID-19 testing measures on imports, and there has been a big impact on Thai produce as some Chinese companies have not yet placed their usual orders, which are around 1 million tons for shipment next month. China's produce imports are facing delays as custom authorities at ports across the country have to test incoming shipments for COVID-19. The measures began in mid-2020, though there is no evidence to suggest that COVID-19 can be transmitted through fresh produce. The chairman of the Durian and Mangosteen Exporter Association of Thailand, Panuwat Maikao, said that the eastern provinces of Thailand, such as Chanthaburi, Trat, and Rayong, are being categorized as the highly controlled red zones, which is affecting their exports, especially durian. Parts of the previous shipments are still at China's import checkpoints, since all imported fruit needs certification. According to the Commerce Ministry, data from 2019 shows that China is the largest importer of Thai durian with over 71%, followed by Hong Kong at around 15% and Vietnam at around 12%.
So let us remind everybody again that there is no evidence to suggest that COVID-19 can be transmitted through fresh produce. So
Right.
China is being very precautious about fruit and vegetable and all the things imported. So they are being very stringent. So most people wouldn't think that it will affect the export from Thailand, but right now it is. So
Yes,
now
because they like China used to be like the hotspot for COVID-19 when we're seeing other countries having the outbreak right now. So China has to raise their guards really high, especially on the produce, although there is no evidence to prove that the COVID-19 can be transmitted through produce, whether it's fruits, veggies, or even seafood.
So talking about China in relation to Thailand, not just the import-export, we also have the tourism relation, and Chinese tourists are the biggest group of tourists that visited Thailand every year. But this year, without the Chinese tourists, Thai tourism industry is still struggling. And the latest news is that they are trying to propose the government to come up with some measures to help revive the industry. Thailand's Tourism Council is calling for the government to help revive the industry urgently, grant long-term debt moratoria, and cut power bills for a year. Vice President of the Council, Chamnan Sisawat, said that they are to propose that the government ease their financial stress, minimize their expenditure, train workers new skills, and seek more market opportunity to get through the current crisis. Chamnan said that the finance institutions can help borrowers reduce their financial burdens by deferring principal and interest repayment for 6 months to 1 year, or until the situation is better. He also proposed that the minimum electricity charge for medium to large business be scrapped until the end of this year, and co-pay for new graduate employees be started. The Council is also asking the government to come up with programs aimed to expanding the skills of tourism workers to help them earn extra income and to continue its domestic tourism campaign. Chamnan said that there should be a specific marketplace to serve domestic tourism, which the council is ready to oversee. Such a marketplace would be a one-stop channel for people to find all kinds of information related to travel in Thailand. So he asked the government to start the relief process immediately and not to wait until COVID-19 outbreak eases. So we don't know when exactly COVID-19 will ease. So best to just start now, according to Kun Chamnan.
Definitely, and we're still on business and economics. COVID-19 can be blamed for pushing the Thai household debt to its highest level in 12 years, which is estimated to be around 480,000 baht per household. This is according to the University of the Thai Chamber of Commerce, which has been announced today. The rector of UTCC, or the Thai Chamber of Commerce, Thanawat Ponwichai, said that the data collected from over 1,000 participants shows that the household debt in 2020 reached 4,800 and 3,950 baht per household surveyed due to the higher cost of living and lack of income due to unemployment. The survey also shows that more than 70% of the debt is new and is a result of the economic crisis caused by COVID-19. The participants said that they may miss loan or credit repayments. 72% blame the ailing economy. Around 60% simply said their income does not match the expenses. And around 55% said they are earning less than before. Though household debt in 2020 was the highest level in over a decade, over 75% is owed to legitimate lenders. Thanawat suggested that the government should solve the household debt crisis with more stimulus measures and help self-employed to avoid missing their repayments, thus creating more debt. So 483,950 baht per household is considered the highest level in 12 years, according to the University of the Thai Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, and most of those are just new and caused by COVID-19, so that is pretty alarming.
Right.
And another news, this is about vaccine. We have been talking about how Thai government trying to acquire vaccine for the whole population, but now it's a little more localized. Pak Kret and Nonthaburi territory, trying to talk about using their own budget to acquire vaccine, they say, to ease the burden of the government. The management committee of Pak Kret municipality today discussed a 240 million baht budget to acquire COVID-19 vaccines, which would be enough to inoculate 190,000 citizens of Pak Kret area. The expenditure must, however, be approved by the central government first. Also, the mayor of Pak Kret said that they discussed the COVID-19 vaccines because they want to help their citizens and reduce the government's burden. On Friday, the mayor of Nonthaburi municipality, Somnuk Thana Dechakul, also suggested the use of municipal budget to acquire COVID-19 vaccines for its people. They calculate that 260,000 people required 520,000 doses of vaccine there. If each dose costs 500 baht, which means 260 million baht is needed. The municipality says they have sufficient funds to cover this. All vaccine must be certified by the Food and Drug Administration. Meanwhile, Nonthaburi province has found 3 new COVID-19 infections, bringing the province total infections to 143. The latest outbreak. One of the new cases is a 4-year-old who contracted the virus from the family members. I think it's an interesting idea to use the local budget for the vaccine, but like they said, they have to get approval from the central government. So if they pass, maybe it's a model for other provinces still have, or other municipality that still have budget to spend.
Definitely, and with the idea, if it has been approved by the central government and the vaccine approved by the FDA, it will be a good model for other provinces to follow the same thing. And speaking of the COVID-19 outbreak, which has put on a high effect on the Thai tourism, many of the tourist places has been affected because there are no tourists coming at all. One of them is Pattaya, which has turned into a ghost town because of the COVID-19 outbreak. And it was often said that Thailand's seaside resort town of Pattaya never sleeps. And that was broadly true until late last month, where the country's second wave or the new wave of COVID-19 struck. The formerly vibrant resort town is now a ghost town. The famous walking street is very quiet as all the bars and shops remain shuttered. It is pitch black at night as all the decorative lights and signboards are off, although the street lights still illuminate the empty roads. The animal dolls have also been placed anonymously at the entrance to the walking street and on the beach road as if to drive home the message that Pattaya has become a ghost town. Despite the despair and desperation of many entrepreneurs, some have not lost all the hope and remain determined to overcome this town's worst crisis ever. The Center Point Prime Hotel on the Sukhumvit Road in Banglamung district is an example of the fighting spirit. The hotel recently erected an illuminated sign in Thai which actually reads "Su Su" or "Keep Fighting" to offer moral support to the other businesses.
So just have to keep the spirit up somehow.
Definitely.
Yes, and one of the aspects of COVID-19 that a lot of people I think most people don't think about this, is the blood donation. Usually they're always asking for people to donate, but this time Red Cross says right now, this time of this year, the amount of blood that they have been donated is at lowest in many, many years. So it's at 50%. The Red Cross Society has issued an urgent appeal for blood donations from members of the public as supplies at hospitals across the country are running critically low, as is the Red Cross-owned blood bank. The amount of blood currently being donated has fallen by 50% as a result of the second wave of COVID-19 infections, and the Society's mobile collection units have had to suspend operations in the wake of the pandemic. Those who want to donate blood are asked to reveal confidentially to the Red Cross staff the whole truth about the status of their health, their recent travel, and especially any recent visits to high-risk places. Otherwise, they should postpone their blood donation. They also asked to wear face masks when they go to give blood. Blood donations can still be given at National Blood Center of the Thai Red Cross Society, the Blood Donation Center at the Thai Red Cross Society in Bang Khae branch, the Mall Street shopping centers in Bang Khaem, Bang Kapi, and Ngam Wong Wan, the Emporium Shopping Center, Bang Song Thai, all 12 National Blood Center branches, and at all provincial hospitals. So if you are healthy and if you are not, haven't been in the high-risk area, please go donate blood. It will help save a lot of lives.
Yes.
So, and that's all the news we have in this edition of Thai PBS World Tonight. It is a lot to cover. Hopefully you guys get everything you need to know about what's happening in Thailand today. And we will see you again tomorrow. And Kun Nat Bunnak and me, Tulip Nasompopla, will sign off for tonight. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ